welcome everyone. We are going to do a brand new song from my brand new album, and we're going to invite you to sing along with us. But you can stay seated for this one. We'll get you up on the next one. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here, breathe in the glory, hear the hopes, hear the grace, feel the touch. God is love. When life has a question, our heart knows the answer. For every closed door, we hold the key. Open your soul. There is a river flowing forever, abundant and free. God is love. Feel the touch. God is love. When fear tries to blind you and dark clouds surround you, love has a voice that calms every storm. Open your arms, love those around you. Here in this moment, your healing is born. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here, breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love. God is love. God is love. God is love. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here, breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch all around. Hear the hope, feel the grace, feel the touch. Hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love. Thank you for singing with us. Welcome back, Siobhan, everybody.
Good to be back, guys. Vacation was good, though.
Let's stand up.
Invite you guys to stand as you are able and willing. I think you guys know this song, so feel free to join in. Oh, yeah. Spirit of God is above. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Spirit of God is above. Spirit of God's upon me. Yeah. Oh.
Siobhan. I'd like to welcome our children to come up to the front now. Come on up to the steps. Come on, come on. Come on, Brielle. Grandpa, hold her purse. Hey, what's going on, Nicholas? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. We got some teens here, too. Awesome. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, have you always been this size? I know you haven't, Ryan. You used to be like little, right? What do you call that? When we used to be little and now we're big? Growth, Miles. Like, I've hardly recognized Miles last week when I saw her. You've grown so much. Like, do you remember when you were little, Brielle? What else? What do you remember about that? Anything?
No.
No, you don't remember anything about it because you were little, right? All right. So anyone want to talk about, what do you think about growing? And what do you remember about being little? How old are you now?
6.
6. Do you remember being 4?
I remember being...
Never been 4? I think you have. I think you have. So here's the thing I want to remind us all, that we're all growing. And I don't just mean here. The grown-ups, we're still growing too. How do you think we're growing as the grown-ups? With our kindness. We're growing spiritually. We're learning to be more loving. And if your parents and grandparents aren't doing that, this is your permission to remind them that we should all be growing. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in the Grown-Up Church. One of the things that we're going to be talking about, too, right now is that we want to grow our teachers. So, John Nonamaker, I think you're going to talk to us about that, aren't you? Tell us how we need some support over here.
Yes, I am. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is John Nonamaker. I am one of the volunteers with the high school and middle school kids. And we really want more support because we want to grow our community. We've been having 10 to 15 high school kids with us every Sunday for the past couple months. And we have a lot of activities we want to do this year. So to facilitate that, we do need more adult support. So I'll be in the lobby after church if anybody wants to talk to me and ask me questions. Because if you do come join us, I promise that you'll have fun. You'll get to immerse yourself in a really special community within Unity, and you'll learn a lot. The joke among the volunteers is that we learn more being in the classroom with the kids than here in service, but just kidding, half kidding. So yeah, please come join us, and if there's any other high school or middle school kids out there who have not joined us yet, please, we'd love to have you, and Ben will speak a little bit on that. Yeah. Come on, Ben.
Hi, my name's Ben. I'm 16 years old. This place is very special to me and very special to all of the people that come, and it's very important to us to have a community around it, and we really enjoy having new people, and we really love everyone around us. So inviting people is the best thing we can do for our community and for everybody around us. Thank you.
So before we send off our children to their Sunday school class, I would love if all of us grown people who are still growing would just send them some love and repeat after me. You guys just let us. We see you. We love you. And we see you growing in light, in love, and in joy. All right. Thank you, everybody, for having us. And thank you guys for being here.
Linda Ballesteros is facilitating our next Unity Women's Group on Saturday, May 21st. You've probably heard the phrase, follow your bliss. Yet how can you follow your bliss if you don't even know what it really is? Bliss is when you're in harmony with your true self or your life's purpose, creating a lifetime filled with meaning, joy, clarity, and centeredness. Finding your bliss allows you to access your powerful, infinite potential. Walk away with a few tips, tools, and techniques that will help you discover your unique talents and passions by registering on our website to attend The Secret to Finding Your Bliss on Zoom or in person.
never look the way I think I do in a mirror compared to what I'm holding in my mind. You know, our thoughts or ideas about the world are not necessarily true either, are they? And the ideas that we hold about others. On Wednesday night, we're going to be taking the next phase of A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and basically going to be thinking about this idea that you are not what you think, and neither am I. And when we open to that, and when we wake up to that, we find that we can stop thinking and start living. Join us in the Pyramid at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I hope to see you there.
Caught you in a private moment at the beginning of that video with the mirror in front of your face. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Houston. My name is Michael Gott. I'm senior minister here, and we had a party last night. Who was here for our party? We had a good time. We had it was my birthday, and I gave a concert. You all made me work on my birthday, but it was all for a good cause. This was a fundraiser for our Unity of Houston Youth and Education Fund. We had a silent auction. We had over 200 people who bought tickets. We're still getting all the final figures in, but we brought in well over $40,000 for our Youth and Education Fund. So, successful event. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, for starting with our two chairs, Donna Fisher and Dooney Hebron. They gave so much love and energy to this. Weren't they wonderful? And our staff did so much work, all of our volunteers, everyone, all the people who donated auction items, all the people who purchased tickets, and just thank you for a wonderful, wonderful event. I think that may be my favorite birthday I've ever had, being with you all. It was just great. So, I do want to let you know that the new album, which was also, we had a CD release too, and I know a lot of people are like, you know, I love having it, but I don't even have a CD player anymore. So I want to say we don't know when the digital, the downloads and the streamings will be available. That process is in process. But if you would like to purchase a CD, they are available today. I'll be over in the bookstore after the service signing copies if you'd like to come pick up a CD, a copy of the new Michael Gott album. So thank you all so much for being here. If you are new to Unity of Houston, if this is your first time to be here in person, we have a present for you today. And it's not even your birthday, or maybe it is. But if you go to the welcome table in the lobby, there will be one of our team members there to have a gift for you and give you some more information about our wonderful church. If you're watching online and this is your first time, or you haven't yet filled out a digital connection card, we invite you to do that today. You can find that card pinned in the comments section on Facebook. It's in the video description on YouTube, and it's right on our homepage, unityhouston.org. But wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are most welcome to be a part of our community today here at Unity of Houston. Thank you so much. One of the things we do as a community at all of our services is that we practice together. We have a time of meditation and deepening. So Boris is going to come out and lead us, he's going to sing a beautiful song. Just allow that to shift your energy and your vibration into a more inward focus, and then I'll lead us in a meditation after that.
I softly close my eyes, letting go of everything in this holy silence. You have come to me. This is the path I've chosen. It's like I've always known. This path will lead me home. I softly close my eyes, letting go of everything, and is holy silence. You have come to me. This is the path I've chosen. It's like I've always known. This path will lead me home.
So let us come home in heart, mind, and soul. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to close your eyes and adjust your seating if you need to so that you feel a strong spine and a soft belly. It's a good shorthand for the posture we want to hold in meditation. A gentle, focused awareness. And we breathe together, releasing the breath that we're already holding in our lungs. Let it all the way out. And pause for just a second before taking a new, fresh breath, deeply, slowly, all the way in. And hold it just a second, and then let it go, slowly, evenly. Let us continue to breathe that way for 3 or 4 breaths, putting a slight pause at the top and the bottom of the breath, following the breath with our consciousness all the way in, all the way out. The stillness in this room, to me it feels full. There is a presence, there is a light, a love, and we feel, all of us that are here and those who are meditating with us at home, that we have entered into this secret place of the Most High. We have laid aside the busyness and the doingness of our lives for a few moments to become still, to be still and know that I am God. The I am presence, the one, the infinite, eternal good, life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, joy is right here, right now. Living within us. Each of us carries a seed of this God energy, this creative spark of life, of mind, of spirit. And we forget, we become distracted. We lose this sense of mindfulness and presence, which is why we practice. Returning again to that breath, breathing fully, deeply. And allow these words that I speak in first person to be the voice of your higher self speaking to you, over you. I am one with infinite life and love.
My intuitive mind guides me into the highest choices and actions. I know what to say and when and to whom. My thoughts are grounded in peace and well-being. No matter what I face in my life, I am given all that I need. That I welcome each new experience as an invitation to go deeper, to grow higher and wider, to be more of what God has already created me to be. I trust myself to know what is right for me and for those in my life, those I meet. I am an emissary of divine light and creativity, love and peace. I radiate this presence to all people. I bring the peace of God to all my relationships. In this moment, I remember God and I are one. The joy of the Lord is my strength. God is love, and I am its expression. So we rest in this knowing that God is here. All is well. How grateful we are. How blessed. Thank you, God. Amen.
And so as we breathe our way back into our beautiful bodies and return our focus to this time and place, we bring with us this vastness, this depth of love and this depth of being. And we feel ourselves related and connected, not just in this room, but across the waves to those who are participating now with us, those who will be a part of this by watching this to come, knowing that their spirit is timeless as are ours, and we are connected now. So as one community, it is easy for us to draw in together all the gifts to receive and to breathe out together our opportunity to share. And this is that opportunity now, to share our gifts, to share our resource, to share our love with our community and allow it to fulfill its purpose by reaching way beyond its doors. And so we do that together. And as you prepare your gift, know that there are many ways you can do it. It's your convenience, text to give, as well as on our website, and all of the ways in which you may choose to share your gift. But however you do it, and whenever you do it, I invite you to remember to reach in and bless it by calling it by its name. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, it's me. I'm so used to having one of our wonderful soloists come out and sing a song right now. And it's like, oh, it's me. This, it's not good for a parent to have favorites, but this is my favorite song from the new album. And the record is very quiet and intimate. It's just me at the piano. I was at John Edwards' studio. We began before COVID and just finished it a few weeks ago. And it's a very intimate small project, but I really always heard this song with the band, so thank you guys. This is called Use All of Me. I turn it over, I surrender, I let go of my fear, I release, and I remember your love is always here. Use all of me. Use all of me. All of me. God, use all of me. All my gifts, all my wounds, God, I give it all to you. Use all of me. Use all of me. I turn it over, I surrender, I let go of my fear, I release, and I remember that your love is always here. Use all of me, God. Use all of me. Take my life, take my dreams, take my lies, take everything. Use all of me, all of me, for good, for good, for good.
So that really is my prayer. I told some stories on myself last night. I think most of you, if you've been around a little while, you probably know I was minding my own business as a lounge lizard, singing in a gay piano bar in Dallas, Texas in 1992 or 3. And somebody came in. I thought they were going to ask me on a date, and they asked me out. They asked me to come sing at their church. And I thought, what kind of a church is this? I thought I may have found my church. And I did. It wasn't this one. It was a very similar community in Dallas. It was Center for Spiritual Living there. And that place healed me and gave me these principles. And I grew. Very surprised that this is like, really, God? This is what I'm doing now? Okay, it's good. I joke, but it'd been 11 years since I'd done an album, and I keep joking about it. Maybe this is the last time I'll say this joke, but this ministry thing is really getting in the way of my career. You know, I used to do an album every year, every couple of years, but music is so much a part of my soul. So it was really fun last night to have that opportunity to kind of show you some of those other things that I do. So for the message today, and I'm really tired, so who knows what's going to come out. I chose this title, Revelation and Evolution, Becoming Who We're Meant to Be. Partly because I knew that I could probably give this talk in my sleep, because this is so much a part of the way I understand reality and life and spirit, identity, who I am, individuality. And partly because I don't know if there's another message that is closer to what I hope to impart to you. What I was trying to share with the kids earlier is that we're never going to stop growing. If we stop growing, we've dropped something. We've missed the opportunity. And so no matter how good your life is, it can get better. The experience of freedom and fulfillment that you now have, even if it's like off the hook, it could be better, more, deeper, stronger. And if you're in a tough spot, if you're grappling with something that is taking all of your energy to help you get through this life, the promise is for you that freedom and fulfillment await you on this journey. Every difficult, awful thing that has come about in my life has turned out to be an invitation into the freedom and fulfillment of God. So I haven't even conferred with my notes, and all that was here was just right here. We may be here for an hour. We're not going to be here for an hour. But this is so in me. I want to talk about this a little bit. But as we know, Randall Brailsford, who is one of our amazing volunteers and counselors here, and he's one of the co-leaders of the Sunday School with Adults. He knew I was going to be busy this weekend. He asked me if if I needed any errands run. I said, yeah, can you write my sermon? And he said, well, I could probably get 3 points in a poem, but the joke is on you. So here's the joke. 35-year-old man reflecting on getting older. I remember 35. And he was just noticing how his life has changed and just kind of looking back in his life. And he said, I remember being a kid and watching my dad fix the family car and thinking, I wonder if I'll ever do that. And now here I am, watching my dad fix my car. So there are two parts of this message, the revelation and the evolution, but really it's the same thing. It's just a different lens or way of looking at it. I want to begin with Ernest Holmes quote, and this is on the first page of his primary work, The Science of Mind. He says this, the divine plan is one of freedom. The inherent nature of man is ever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom, because freedom is the birthright of every living soul. I know. Joanne, you and I are on the same wavelength this morning. I see you. Everything is calling you to your freedom. Many of you know that recovery and addiction is a big part of my story too. This horrible thing that occurred in my life that I was trapped, I couldn't get out of. I didn't know if I would survive, ended up being an invitation and a doorway into spiritual freedom. Everything is like that. Because who you are is an expression of the divine. That is your nature, created in the image and the likeness. And if we only truly knew and could embody that truth, we would be free, free, free. We would live this life in complete freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom to express our deepest truth. That's the way it's meant to be. And I don't know about you, but I'm not fully there yet. That I continue to be on this journey. So in one sense, our growth is not adding anything to us. We are already created as perfection, wholeness, and completion. That's who we are. But instead, it's to reveal it. To find out what's standing in the way of that truth, of our authentic brilliance, and let that go. That's why that song means so much to me too, because I release, I remember that your love is always here, always here. Use all of me, God. That's Emerson had this wonderful quote. He said, if I can just remove my bloated nothingness. Does anybody else have any bloated nothingness going on? And I remember a guy in 12-step meeting said, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. That's that egoic mind that just fixates and ruminates and it just makes everything about us, but it's not the true us. It's about our fears. It's about our smallness. And who we truly are as a son or a daughter of God, as an expression of absolute light and creativity, whatever language you want to call it, that's who we truly are. And we can catch glimpses. And we can work with those glimpses to actually create practices and maybe even a minute or two where we live it fully at a time. And over time, we become more and more free to be who God has already created us to be. But the second part of that is there is an evolution at work. We have 3 values that we have here at Unity of Houston: being, becoming, and belonging. And our becoming statement is really what this says, that through grace and through practice, we heal and grow, revealing the Christ within. That's what this work is. And it is work. I'm sorry if you thought this was going to be, you punch your ticket and you're enlightened. You need to keep church shopping, because we're not that church. We're about practice. That we know the truth, we teach the truth, we do our best to live the truth, but it is a practice. We practice prayer and meditation. We practice sacred service. We practice authentic, healthy communication and relationships. All of these things are a practice. And if you've gotten it perfect, you can go start your own church, because none of us have here. All of us here at Unity of Houston are still working on this, still seeking to let go of those old patterns and limited beliefs and false identities that were usually ingrained in childhood. We come from, I don't know about your family, but I can tell you about mine. And as we learn in therapy, if it's not one thing, it's your mother. That we come with these, not your mother, David. Hi, Lena. We love you. We're so bad. Your mother is perfect. There she is. She's rocking, your mom. She is great. So our evolution is to grow, to learn, to add these practices into our life and release all that stands in the way, so to greater and greater degrees we can experience the freedom of God. And there is something about getting older. You know, I don't know about hitting 40. It was like, oh, I don't care quite as much about what people think. In the 50s, it was like, who cares? And I see you all in your 60s and 70s and 80s. You all look free to me. That's where I want to get to. That place of just letting ourselves be who we are as of this date, knowing that we are continuing to do our work, we're continuing to grow. And we want to expand, you know? We want to be more of who we are. Here's some ancient wisdom of our New Thought teaching that comes from 1 Chronicles. This was very popular a few years ago. Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, saying, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me. Keep me from the evil one." And God granted his request. That prayer of Jabez, to expand my territory, that the light and the power of God be with me. Now, the evil one, you know, we don't speak about an incarnate devil here in Unity, but we sure know about the ego, the separating consciousness that each of us carries. And one of my 12-step meetings I used to go to, we'd say the Lord's Prayer, but it was deliver me from ego. It was the way we'd say that instead of deliver me from evil. Because that ego is the part of us that wants to separate us. Poor me, it's the victim, it's the overlord. And who we are, the true humility of a spiritual being is that we're just right-sized. I'm not the worst, I'm not the best, I am me, fully. That's true humility. So what do we do? How do we grow? So there's so many metaphors here, but I want to use let's use the education model, shall we? Many spiritual teachers talk about coming to earth school. And yes, they even teach that you did choose those parents. And you chose that experience. So why? So that you could learn the lessons of your soul's becoming. So that you could learn the lessons of the freedom that you're called to be by contrast of that which is not your freedom. Now I like it. It's a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. But I like the idea that sometimes I think we choose the path, but the curriculum is not what we thought. Have you noticed that? Like, this was the plan. I made a plan. I'm learning these things, and then, oh, here's my relationship stuff again. There may be a pattern here. Who is the common denominator in this pattern? It's me again. And so I began to practice. I urge you to take full advantage of all of the wonderful self-healing and growth and expansion opportunities we have in this time. Brene Brown, God bless your heart. The level of self-understanding, the books, the podcast, the therapists, we have many, many in this church, the 12-step programs, the classes of our metaphysics here at Unity, there are so many things available to us, but that's actually not the curriculum. The curriculum is to identify where we have fallen into a false belief and let it go. All of our work is letting that go and standing in the faith that we are already created in that image and likeness. So, some of the classes you will take here are electives and some are mandatory. Required. I don't know what that is for you. It usually comes back to love in some form or another, which will always require some forgiveness. And what I'm finding, the more I'm in this work, most of it is right here. To forgive myself, to offer compassion to myself right where I am. And here's the secret. That feels kind of like egoic, right? Self-centeredness, selfishness, but it's actually not. This is bringing kindness to the self in all of its human wonder and delight. It frees us. And when we are compassionate with ourselves, we are able to be more compassionate with each other. I don't know how it works that way, but it does, trust me. Jesus said it, that when we're in judgment out here, guess who is really being judged? Judge not lest you be judged. And in the same measure, and I would substitute the word consciousness there, the same consciousness you are judging others, it is being judged back to you by you. And I love the next phrase in that teaching from Jesus of Nazareth says, why do you bother trying to take the speck out of your brother's eye when you have a timber in your own? Now, I thought about this years ago. When you have a timber in your eye, some big piece of wood that shouldn't be there, guess what it is when you're looking at others? You're seeing wood. Timber. You're seeing fault. You're seeing the thing that shouldn't be there everywhere. So to clear our vision, what we've been talking about, it's releasing that which is not true of you. And that judgment, that criticism, that non-compassionate speech that you hear all the time towards yourself and others, that's not really you. And as Jesus told us, remove it. For me, when a master teacher says that something like that, first, remove the timber, the log, the board from your own eye. That means that it must be possible. And we're back to practice. We're getting to freedom. That's where we're all going here. Another beautiful spiritual story from the ancients that it's actually now become the basis of something called liberation theology, the story of the enslaved Israelites in Egypt. And their leader who called them forth said, Pharaoh, let my people go, oh Moses. And so that story, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but it's a beautiful framework, a beautiful mythology, a beautiful metaphor for each of us on our journey to freedom. That song that Gary wrote that Boris sang before our meditation, this is my path that I have chosen. I come home. The promised land is within us. That when we make a bold claim for our freedom. I want to tell you a story on myself. And I've told it before, so if you have heard it, just laugh like you haven't. I finished ministerial school in 2009, and I got hired to go be an associate minister and music minister at Center for Spiritual Living in Reno, Nevada. I'd been there many times as a guest artist and speaker and loved that community. And it was it happened pretty quickly. I had to move out of my house in Dallas, get my stuff on a truck, get out there, and just whirlwind, right? And then I got a place to stay. I'm there my very first Sunday at my new community. So I had, in all of that stress and doing this of moving, I had kind of let my healthy eating go by the wayside and just been eating a lot of junk. And I just made a declaration. Once I got to Reno, no more sugar. I'm done. I declared my stand for freedom. I'm taking it like, Pharaoh, you don't own me. I'm moving out. At the end of my first Sunday at my new community, there's all these hugs. I knew some people, I'm meeting people. I don't even know how it happened, but someone handed me a big pink box. And I'm just still hugging, and then I'm just left here kind of out of all the flurry. And it's like, what is this? I open it. It is a giant pink Homer Simpson donut. It was actually a cake decorated to look like a giant donut. And I'm like, didn't I just declare no more sugar? How funny, universe, to give me, like, what is the biggest epitome of junk food? A giant Homer Simpson donut. So I don't think I ate all of it. But I was talking about it with the other associate minister there at CSL Reno. And I was like, isn't that hilarious? I made this declaration for freedom from sugar, and then somebody hands me this. And she said, well, that's just the Egyptians coming after you. I said, say more about this Egyptians coming after you business. I want to know what you're talking about. She said, well, if you remember in the story, they left bondage after the plagues, lots of plagues. Pharaoh said, go, you can go. And they're walking out from Egypt out into, they didn't know the 40 years of wandering and then wilderness yet, but we're earlier in the story. And they're moving towards freedom, moving towards the promised land, coming to where their rightful home is. And they come to the Red Sea. And there's dust kicked up in the background. The horses, the chariots, the riders are coming. Pharaoh changed his mind, realized he had a good free labor source, and he was going to bring him back. And so there were the children of Israel at the banks of the Red Sea on this side, can't go forward. The Egyptians coming to take them back into bondage. And that was me and my donut. And me many, many times in my path. Keith Green used to have a song, so you say you want to go back to Egypt. We've all been there. We've made a declaration for our freedom, and it looks like there's no way forward. Well, at least we got fed in Egypt. Maybe it wasn't so bad in that relationship that was so dysfunctional. Maybe that old job, I don't know what it is, but really it's about a pattern of thinking, a pattern of belief that we go, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. At least it's a rut, but I know it. I used to say I'm such a rut dweller, if I get in one, I hang up curtains. I like routine, I like familiar, right? Well, some of these old patterns are familiar and comfortable, but they are bondage, make no mistake. And so this may be happening for you right now. Maybe you have made a declaration for your freedom and you can feel the pull back to an old way of being. They used to say in AA that there's nothing worse than a head full of AA and a belly full of beer. Once you've tasted freedom, you go back, it's not as comfortable anymore. And you remember what happened in the story next. Moses, who represents that connection of the human to divine mind, raises his staff and the sea parts, and a way was made where there was no way. The metaphysics of this are inescapable for us, my friends. Your freedom that you're being called to, the way will be made, even if you can't see it. And it will come through you. Sometimes it comes through making some really big mistakes. Not that one, that's not the way. Don't be afraid. Because here's the thing. this incredible gift of choice that we've been given, it's always there. You chose incorrectly, you tried something that didn't work, choose again. Choose again. And if that doesn't work, choose again. And what I've found, the more healing that I have done, the more free I am, the more willing I am to be compassionate and accepting of myself, my chooser's gotten a little bit better. I have a better sense of what is actually my intuitive voice calling to me to move forward. Not perfect, but I'm beginning to feel the pattern a little bit better, to make higher and wiser, more loving choices. And here's the last part. The journey is the destination. There isn't some, land of milk and honey that's where everything is perfect, you don't have any more problems, or you have the perfect partner. That doesn't exist. But the promised land is when we just choose freedom every day and recognize that this is my freedom. This is my promised land. Does that mean that we give up and we stay right here? No. We keep moving forward. And whatever the thing is that's like, I need this, I need a better career, I need to work on my finances, all that, great, do it. But that's not the promised land. That's just the next class in your earth school. And you get that handled, and then the next thing will show up. I should probably go back and look at my notes now. I think there were other important things I wanted to say. So when we're at that place between the Red Sea and the chariots, the amygdala in our brain wants to go to freeze, flight, or fight, but there is another F. How about faith? We could go to faith. And sometimes our faith isn't that dramatic. My teacher, Petra, she used to say, sometimes you just stand there with your nose against the wall, keep doing what's in front of you to do. And she said, and you watch. If you just stay engaged, stay awake, stay connected, hold to your faith, one day you'll be on the other side of that wall and you have no idea how it happened. This has been true for me again and again. Stay the course. Sustained, diligent effort on our spiritual journey is not sexy and it doesn't sell many books, but it is a powerful tool in your arsenal. Stay. Don't quit. Keep going to therapy. Keep attending those stupid meetings. Keep working those dumb steps. Keep coming to Unity even though the preacher looked really tired and wasn't giving a very good message that day. Just keep at it. You're worth it. You're worth it. Rumi, wonderful Sufi poet, says this: the breezes at dawn have secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. I want to close. That was going to be the end of my sermon today, but the shooting yesterday in Buffalo has really hurt me. And if you're not aware of it, a young 18-year-old man with a white supremacist agenda went into a black neighborhood in a grocery store and killed 10 people and live streamed it. So what I want to bring us to the awareness is that not only are we individually growing and revealing the truth of us, but humanity is in the same process. And there are so many times when something like this occurs, I want to give up on humanity. I want to go back to that blame game. But I learned long ago, we're never going to blame ourselves out of any of our problems. And so what I'm going to ask all of you to do is join with me in the high consciousness of healing of this horrible sin called racism. I'm going to ask you to join me in consciousness right now this morning to know that we are better than this as a species, as a people, that there is a higher place calling to us. Sheila McKeithen, I think I mentioned her last week, she'll be here speaking this summer too, and we did this event with Unity Online in 2020, And it was how we bring our 5 principles to the problems of our world. It was right after George Floyd's murder. And I don't remember which principle Sheila was speaking on, but she spoke directly to this. She said, white supremacy cannot last because it's a lie. Only the truth is eternal. And it gave me such hope. It gave me such hope because if I'm just looking at what's going on there, it looks sometimes like the darkness is winning. And I'm here to encourage you, as she encouraged me, that cannot be true. Only the truth is eternal. And this idea that by merely the color of our skin, someone is superior is a lie, and we know this. So I want to extend in this prayer compassion and healing for the community and the family. But mostly the families affected, but I want us to join in raising the consciousness of humanity as us today. Will you do that with me? Will you join me with me? So right now I invite you to turn within. And we remember the deepest truth is there is only one life, one power, one presence, one infinite good. That is Spirit, that is God, that is infinite creative expression. There is nothing else. It has been known by many names, but there is only one power and one presence. Perfect, good, whole. And this one expresses its nature in infinite forms. But all forms contain the essence of God, the essence of good. And so that includes me, and that includes you, that includes everyone within the sound of my voice. We have the seed of God's light and power and creativity within us right here, right now. And this seed is asking for greater knowledge and expression, for us to embody the truth of wholeness and freedom more. And so we do, right here, right now. We are one with God. And so the creative word we speak comes from that place of infinite power and infinite grace. And so I speak my word. I speak my word over this whole situation where young men and women are being taught a lie that anyone could be superior to another one based upon some false notion of race, color, or religion, or creed, or any difference at all. For what we know in this moment, and what I now proclaim, is that each of us carries this Christ seed within, and we see it. We commit to seeing it in each other. And the energy of this knowing expands us, and it expands between us, that we create a wave of healing on this planet and in humanity right now. That we are a part of the awakening of humanity to this lie, and we let it go, we release it. And we rise in the truth of love, that we are all in this together. We are all expressions of God, all brothers, sisters in God's love. And so whatever is for us to do, to be, to say, to express it in greater and greater expression, we say, yes, God. We are willing to speak up, to emanate this truth and this love. And for all who have experienced the pain of racism, of white supremacy, let us know healing and comfort, particularly for those families. Let us hold them in the eternal love of God. And those souls who have departed are our teachers today. And we are to be reminded of what is calling us higher. And so we bless the whole experience of our healing, personally, collectively. And we trust you, God, will show us, guide us, speak to us, carry us forward until the day when we are all free. And we stand in gratitude that we know that this day is real. This day is here in consciousness right now. And we await its perfect demonstration. We let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. That's powerful. If no one has told you today that they love you, I love you, there is something that wants to happen in your life. It only awaits your yes. And if you're not strong enough to find that yes, let us collectively be your yes. We see who you are. We are your yes. God bless you.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to ride the unridable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow a star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march on to hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious west, then my heart will have peaceful and calm as I lay to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable, the unreachable, the unreachable star.
Well, this Saturday, we had so much fun last Saturday with landscaping, and by we, of course, I mean they did. With so much to do that we're going to do it again this Saturday because the job is still in front of us. There's still more to do. So landscaping happens again from 8:30 to noon. Many hands make light work. We're looking for 20 people. This is a big job. We want to get it done in the spring. So Cindy Klein will be at a table in the lobby. I dare you to look her in the eye and tell her you won't be there, okay? Just know this is really super fun, and it'll also be in the coolest part of the day. So
we're praying for 65-degree weather, and our prayers are powerful.
And today is Family Fun Day at 12:30 right here. Go right into Wallet Hall. And do head to the bookstore to get your new Michael Gott CD.
I invite you to stand as you're able as we sing our peace song to close our service. Join me as we speak the words of our beloved prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And today we proclaim that God is good. Thank you all for being here today.
It's a beautiful